Hello, everybody. Welcome to the first Photopea tutorial. Well, for our first assignment, I'm just showing you here what it looks like, your module in Graphic Design 1. You can see your first assignment here, Photopea. If we click on it, we can see what the assignment is. The assignment is to paint a picture. If you need help, I suggest you to go to YouTube and search Photopea. But instead of that, you've got me. So this will be even easier for you. All right, first you can do, go to a new tab. And I've got it up here, Photopea. You can always just hit the little plus, add a new tab, put in photopea.com. That's photopea.com. It'll take you right here to this website. Now, as you can see, I've got a bunch of junk up here at the top, right? There's a shortcut. Letter F as in Frank, or in this case as in full, for full screen. If you hit letter F, it'll take you to full screen. But the problem is we don't see where it says file anymore. So you don't want to do full screen just yet. I just wanted to remind you that it is a possibility. Letter F as in full. So first thing we have to do, we have to, of course, start with a new project. So we're going to go to File up here in the top left, and New. And at this point, we have templates, but I'm not worried about the template. We're going to keep it simple. When you hit New, it gives you a project. It says New Project. It's highlighted in blue. That means you can just start typing and call it whatever you want. I'll call it Photo P1. Now, how big do we have it? Notice, width, height. It's in pixels. Pixels don't help me. If I come down here to print, I'm going to click print, and these are different sizes pages, all preset. There's a scroll bar over here. I can scroll down and get to letter. Once I click letter, notice this changed to inches, 8.5 by 11. Here's a preview of what that will look like, 8.5 by 11. But I want this landscape. I want it wider than it is high. Notice right now, the width is only 8.5, the height is 11. I want to switch those. That's what this button does right here. Click that, notice it's switched, and now this is set up on wide. Perfect, I'm going to hit create. You hit create, takes you over to this nice page here. And again, full screen, not quite what I was hoping for. So the F for full screen, I don't recommend it until you're really ready to do detailed work. I'll show you another trick here in a minute. All right, so we've got our blank page. On the right-hand side is our layers. And if we think about layers, what is Photoshop, what is Photopea? It's just one layer stacked on top of another. Right now, the background layer is white. Notice the white box. I need to add a new layer. I don't want to write or draw anything on my background. So if I come down here, this is our trash can. It says delete layer. This one here, it says new layer. It's a nice thing about being able to hover over these tools. Whenever you hover over them, a little pop-up is going to come up and tell you what it is. In this case, new layer. Go ahead and click on that. And look what happened. Above background, we now have layer 1. This looks like a checkerboard pattern. Anytime you see that checkerboard pattern in Photoshop or Photopea, it's just telling you it's transparent. It's see-through, so it's clear. Layer 1 is clear. Now I can start brushing. I can add strokes to it. I can paint. I can do quite a few things here. We're going to start with just painting. So I'm going to hit letter B as in boy for my brush. But watch what happens over here. This is the brush tool. Just watch that while I hit letter B. So notice I hit B, and the little icon is now selected. This might be a little confusing for you because I have a highlighter on my cursor, so my cursor looks like it's a gigantic brush. When I draw, you can see that it's not. It's just a little tiny small dot. So how do I make that bigger or smaller? Well, easiest way is your keyboard right there next to letter P. P as in Paul. Look at your keyboard. There's two brackets. One's a left bracket, one's a right bracket. They look like parentheses, but they're kind of square. One is going to make it bigger, one is going to make it smaller. And you can see you can make it super big. And then when you click and drag, it's just going to paint a giant circle. I can make it a little bit smaller, and you can get super small. That's as small as it's going to get. And then you can just hit the up bracket to go through that. All right, another option. If you don't have a keyboard, take a look over here. Here's the actual brush that I am using. See, it says 125. That's the size. I'm going to come over here and put my brush where I can see it. I'm going to use the bracket next to the P. Notice the brush is getting smaller and that number is getting smaller. So you can always click on this drop-down menu and you can adjust the size of the brush right here. And you can come over and see the brush is huge. You can click the drop-down again, adjust the slider, make the brush smaller. Also interesting over here, side note, you don't have to get crazy with these yet, but these are all different types of brushes. If I were to click this one and I come down, whoops, let me make that larger. And see, it's kind of like a weird spray paint effect along the edges. Different brushes are going to give you different effects. And of course, the sizes vary. All right, that was a little side note. But the main thing about this drop down here is being able to resize your brush. Personally, I like to use the brackets. And these are different standard brushes, solid circle. I'm just going to choose that. And you can see I'm back to a solid circle. All right. Now, next thing, I want to use a different color. So if I want to change colors, I need to click right here on this one is blue, obviously, because we saw I was painting in blue. So I'm going to choose color blue, go to my slider. I can click anywhere on this slider. It will give me different colors, and I can adjust deeper by clicking along the sides here. Now, it looks like I've chose green. So if I close out, I should have green, but I don't. I close it, and it's still blue because, let me go back to the green, choose green. You have to hit OK. Hit OK. Now it's green. All right, let's take a look at our layers again. Right now, I just put all of that is on the same layer, blue and the little green mark. I'm going to add a new layer. So I go back to my next to the trash can, click new layer, make my brush a little bigger, and look at that. So brush is bigger and it's on a new layer. The reason I did that, I want to show you a trick. If I like this blue better, I want to put the blue on top. Just bring your cursor over here to layer 1. We can see that's got all that blue junk on it. Drag it up. Click and drag up. Now the blue layer is on top, so the blue is now covering the green. You can go back and forth with those anytime. If I want to just move the green around, I can use something called the Move tool. See where the cursor is? And notice it says Move tool, and there's a letter V as in victory right next to it. That means the shortcut is V. I can just hit V. Now I've got the Move tool. I want to move this green stuff around. Oh no, why is the blue moving? The blue is moving because, look at our layers, the blue layer is selected. Let me select the green layer. Now I can move just the green part around. All right. All right, obviously I'm expecting a little bit better artwork than that, but let's say you're finished. Let's say this is it, I'm done, I'm ready to turn this in. To save it, we're gonna go File. Now we have an option here that says Save as PSD. Don't use that. Let's say you're working and you're only halfway through and then your brother or somebody needs to use a computer, so you gotta stop. Then you use Save as PSD, because that way you can reopen that same file and then you can continue where you left off. But if you're totally done, you need to go to Export As. And we want to export it as a JPG. Just call it a JPEG. So by exporting it as a JPEG, it's a smaller file, easier for you to upload, easier for me to download. So we click JPEG. This new box pops up. It's called Save for Web. You don't need to worry about any of the defaults. Come right to Save. Click Save. Look at that. We're using Chrome, so all downloads in Chrome go to the very bottom and the bottom left. It says photop1.jpg. Now to turn in the assignment, you need to go back to Canvas. Now, this is where it's a little confusing just because mine is a little different than yours. I don't have that option where it says submit assignment. You need to click on submit assignment, navigate to where your file is. It should be in your downloads, and then submit it. Remember, any questions, any problems, come see me in my office hours or send me an email. All right, good luck.